In this video, we are going to go over Unit 8 from Fundamentals of Piano Theory Preparatory Level. Unit 8 is all about five-finger patterns and triads. Five-finger patterns are sometimes called pentascales because they're the first 5 notes of a major or minor scale. The formula for a five-finger pattern is first note, whole step, half step, whole step. And as you can see here, we have our first note, and here you can see we have our first note, whole step, because there's a note in the middle, whole step, there's a note in the middle, half step, no note in the middle, whole step, note in the middle. So that is our formula for a major five-finger pattern. It doesn't matter which note we start on. If you follow that pattern, you will get a major five-finger pattern. So on page 34, they've written out all of your five-finger patterns for the white keys, except for the key of B. They've written out C, G, D, A, E, and F. They've also written where those notes come on the staff. All right. Page 35 basically wants you to redraw those. So we're going to go first note, whole step, half step, whole step. And then we're going to draw them on the staff. Now I have 3 rules for writing five-finger patterns. If you follow my 3 rules, you will be just fine. If you don't, you might have problems. Rule number 1, don't skip a letter. Rule number 2, don't repeat a letter. And number 3, don't mix drugs and alcohol. I mean, don't mix sharps and flats. Okay, if you follow those rules, you will get the right answer. So E, for instance, E is my first note, up a whole step, and I get F sharp. If I call that G flat, I will have skipped the F note, and I have a problem. Up a whole step, G sharp. Again, if I called that A flat, I would have skipped the letter G, and I would have had a problem. Up a half step, A. Up a whole step, B. I didn't skip any of my musical alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. E, F, G, A, B. I did not skip a letter. I did not mix sharps and flats. I did not repeat a letter. If you went E, F sharp, A flat, A, B, you broke my rule repeating a letter. And you broke my rule repeating sharps and flats. And you broke my rule of skipping a letter. You would have skipped G if you wrote A flat. So those 3 rules keep you in the right. Okay, that's page 35. Page 36. We're going to do minor. Here's my minor formula. Minor formula is first note, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. So minor is just the major formula, but backwards. First note, whole step for major, half step for major, and then whole step for major. Minor is just that whole thing backwards. Okay? Another way some of my students like to think about it is if you can find a major 5-finger pattern, and then if you lower your third finger 1/2 step to the left, you get the minor 5-finger pattern. Doesn't matter what key. So that's just another way of finding your answer or checking your answer. Okay, so on this page, we're writing out C major and C minor. And we're also writing out G major and G minor. Don't forget to double check your clefs. Bass clef there, treble clef there. And that is page 36. Moving on. 37, we write the rest of the white key minors. F minor, D minor, A minor, E minor, as well as their major. Again, double check your clef. Make sure you're doing the right clef. All right, number 4, they've given us some 5-finger patterns. We're just going to write which 5-finger pattern they have written. Now again, you can know what 5-finger pattern based on what the first note is. And then follow, did they go a whole step or a half step? So here we have an A. A. Next is a B. Followed by a C, a D, and an E. Which formula did we follow? First note, whole step, half step. Right there, we know it's a minor. Whole step, whole step. That's a minor 5-finger pattern. All right. Page 38. We're going to learn what triads are. Triads are a 3-note chord. Triads have a root, a third, and a fifth. A triad is just the first note, third note, and fifth note of a 5-finger pattern. So if I have my 5-finger pattern and I take my second note and my fourth note out, I now have my triad. Take my 5-finger pattern, take the second and the fourth out, and I've got a chord. Take second and fourth out, and I've got a chord, a triad. So a triad is a 3-note chord. Now I can also have a minor triad by making a minor 5-finger pattern, taking 2 and 4 out, and I get a minor triad or minor chord. And most people think that that sounds more sad or darker. Okay, another way I want to teach triads is how you can find a triad from a formula. So a major triad is made up of 3 notes, a root, a third, and a fifth. And in between the root and the third, there are 4 half steps. HS for half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in between the third and the fifth, there are 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. So the formula for a major triad is 4 half steps on the bottom and 3 half steps on the top. Again, it doesn't matter which key you choose. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I get a major triad. 4 half steps on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 half steps on the top. 1, 2, 3. That's the formula for a major triad. Now, the formula for a minor triad is just a little bit different. A minor triad has a formula of 3 half steps on the bottom and 4 half steps on the top. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's another way that you can find a minor triad on a keyboard, and then you can transfer that to the staff if you'd like. So on page 38, we are writing our 5-finger patterns on the keys and on the staff and as a triad, just like they did here. And then they want to know which note is the root note's on the bottom, which note is the third is in the middle, and which note is the fifth is the top note. So we're doing that for major triads on page 38 and 39. We're doing that for minor triads. Also, on part 6 on page 39, we're identifying triads. We are going to identify triads by figuring out what is the bottom note. What is the lowest note, also called the root? What is the root of each chord? Now notice that for part 6 here, all of these are major triads. So we're just identifying the bottom note or the root. If you're not sure of your notes, remember your home notes. G clef G, step down, we get F. Middle C, skip up, or G clef G, skip down, and we get E. And then go ahead and write major after each key. On page 40, we're drawing major and minor triads. Again, minor triad. Just the first, third, and fifth note of the 5-finger pattern. And page 41, we're wrapping up the unit by identifying minor triads. Again, these are all minor triads. Just identify the bottom note, the root of the triad, and write G minor or D minor in the blank. Part 9, triad review. They give you a specific triad. They want you to draw it on the staff. Don't forget to check your clef. Major triads for part 9. Minor triads for part 10. And that's pretty much it for Unit 8. Go ahead and get that homework done and uploaded for me to grade. Thank you.